Hello everyone, and welcome to SpeedGaming Main. Today we have another this young Breathe. Hi chat, apologies for the extended delay. We've been having some technical problems. Looks like Orange is in Kakariko, jmeasher is in the Oldorm Cave, and we'll try to catch you up.
Yep, so of note, the Moon Pearl was in the Uncle Chest, and the mirror was on Race Game. So those are the two major items we've got so far.
Yep, we've been camping out on our sister restream SpeedGaming, which is also restreaming this race to get some information. We have no idea how Orange and jmeasher got here, but they are here. jmeasher, I believe, did check the dam, though we didn't catch what the items were there. It looks like we'll see those from Orange now, so we'll figure that out.
Right, so jmeasher's heading up to Ice Rock Cave. I imagine they're probably going to route that into a fake flipper up to Waterfall and Zora with the money and Moon Pearl in hand.
I would assume so. Flooded item was arrows, thank you, raids. Okay, it looks like these are also both he, him, Lucian for additional. And that's a heart piece. Alright. I think that's us caught up on items now. Yeah, they also have the red meringue. I do not know where that was. I don't actually track it on my notes sheet either, so. Yeah, they've got. There were at least, I think it was at least one heart container and several heart pieces, really. This is tournament hard item pool, so there are some tweaks. 48 heart pieces and only 4 heart containers. We've already seen at least one of those 4 heart containers. No half magic, no armor. We will along with some other changes as well. A flipper for jmeasher. I did not catch Desert Ledge for Orange.
Yep, on top of those heart container changes, we're also capped at Tempered Sword. 4 swords are placed into the game, but once you get that Tempered Sword, that's it for the rest of the game. On top of that, bows are non-progressive, so you can find the silvers way before you find the bow.
Alright, Desert Ledge was trash, thanks chat, and we've got a heart piece in now.
Looks like Orange is making their way down to Mini Mordorm. Okay, so we get an out of logic mushroom, so we'll see if that turns into anything.
Mushroom on Waterfall Fairy, it looks like.
Ooh, a fire rod on Zora Ledge.
Alright, they're gonna have to come back for that later. Do not have sufficient equipment for an Ansela fake flipper, I don't think.
I think just boomerang. I don't think, and boomerang and bombs. I don't know if there's a setup for that.
It might be. I know it's trickier to get his lamp off Zora himself. And yeah, jmeasher's not gonna bother with that.
Yeah, so both our fire sources in Lake Zora.
Yep. Okay, and chat does saying that red meringue and bombs does work. jmeasher either doesn't know or doesn't feel like doing it. I don't blame him either way. It's not the most amusing of fake flippers, even if you do want to, can do it. Ansela fake flippers is one of the harder variants, especially on minimal equipment. Yeah, lots of fire in the watery area. I'm surprised the fire hasn't been put out, but then again, it is magical. jmeasher safequitting and doing an immediate fake flipper to get turned into mushroom can safe scum this if it's nothing, to do fake powder later. And that is going to be a reset.
Yep. So we'll see. So I'm guessing they're gonna turn that into a fake powder later on in the seed. We'll see.
Yep.
Looks like jmeasher is heading towards. Nope, I was gonna say Saha. Alright, so we got a blue pendant on Eastern and a red crystal in Desert.
Purchasing some bombs. Yeah, nice map check. So, not the worst layout, not the best. It's a layout. We more interestingly is that 12 minutes in, we have not much of anything really in the way of items. We've got a lamp and we've got a mirror, and a red ring, I suppose. That's about it for current items of actual use. The Moon Pearl will be useful later, but currently doesn't do anything for them.
Now you see that lamp turn up early, and that idea just kind of creeps in the back of your head. What if this is an Agaseed?
Mm-hmm. Oh hey, that's a bow. Nice place for that, Saha's hut.
Yeah, so the Eastern Palace is fully in logic right now. That seems like the
No,
obvious.
it's not. We don't have a logical way to Zora. They fake flippered there.
Oh yeah.
It's full clearable in any case. And you're right here. I don't see Relic of much else to do, honestly. It's this and escape, I think, is basically their options right now. So you might as well do Eastern because you're right here. Because with only Lamp, Moon Pearl, Mirror, and a bow now, you can't really get anywhere. No Dark World access, no Desert access, no Mountain access. Yeah, their options right now are Eastern and the front of Escape, so here they are, getting a vanilla map. I think, no, not the vanilla map, that's just a regular chest in vanilla. Brain. Lucian, do you recognize Orange's sprite? I do not offhand.
That is Freya Crescent from Final Fantasy IX.
Ah, nice. And I do recognize Toad for jmeasher from the Mario series.
Nothing but a pair of 20s so far. We'll see what this last item will be.
Nah, they can do Harmless Knights if they so chose. They might, honestly. It's fairly quick, and they've got very little available to do. Only the blue pendant, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it really depends on if the big key chest is an item. So I've already got 2.
Yeah, and we haven't seen the compass yet, right? If this is...
Correct.
Yeah, because the map was the first chest. So if this is... We'll see what this is. And, yeah, that's an item on Armus. Item on Armus. If that had been the if that had been the last item, they might well have skipped Armus, being only a blue pendant and not the compass. But here, they might as well just go straight there. I mean, besides this, it's the front of Escape. We've already seen Nagina, we've seen South Shore, we've seen Analogical Water Checks. We don't have mountain access.
Yeah, this is a pretty dry seed so far.
It really is. SP Man, we've been counting. This is actually not the compass. They just got that in the big key chest, and they saw the map in the first check. So this is guaranteed to be an item. Doesn't mean it has to be a useful item, just that it is an item.
Yeah, all we know is that it is something.
Armo's trolling jmeasher here a bit. See the one cycle. Oof, definitely trolling here. There we go. Vanilla heart container. I could swear there's only 4 heart containers in this item pool. We've seen at least 2 of them already. I know there was one in CAC. Thanks, game.
It's a healthy seed, you just can't go anywhere with it.
No, I'm pretty sure they're off in front of Escape Next for a sheer lack of anything else at all to do.
One way or another, we're gonna find, because jmeasher hasn't been there, but Orange has to Gina. There's nothing there, so.
Oh, this is all that's left.
So what do you think? You think it's gonna be Dark Lord access or Aga access in Escape?
It's suggesting a glove. I think it's most likely to be a glove or book at this point for access to more checks. More likely glove than book, to be fair. Orange finishing off Armos. Pretty nice fight. Could be flippers, yeah, to get back into logic, though. Flippers in the front to get back to logic would do absolutely nothing in terms of checks, though. It gets them a fire rod. The fire rod currently does nothing more than the lamp does. Small key. Shovel would be a giggle. Boots would be something of a fetch quest right now, too. There's only a handful of items they could find right now that would open up more checks. Bottle would open up Sick Kid. Oh, Orange hasn't done Uncle yet, okay. This will be the Moon Portal for him. That's a map.
I feel like this is gonna make them go all the way to the back of Escape for the item.
Of course it is. It's, why wouldn't it? With the way this is going so far. Orange getting his Moon Portal.
Although back of Escape isn't in logic right now, is it?
No, we don't have a logical fire source.
So that's, I guess it has to be here in Zelda Cell then.
It has to be. I think we've done every other check available.
And it's a shovel. Oh.
Of course.
Strap in, folks. We got a seed.
We were just discussing what kind of item would be there and if it might be a fetch quest of some kind. That is a fetch quest. I'm gonna go for Dark Cross in the back anyway, because you're already here, and why not, more or less? Shovel 1 check. There are 3 items. There are 4 items between Dark Cross and the back, because we've already seen the map. And the small key. So. Dark Cross giving us a hurt piece. Yeah, and the dig spot could just be flippers to put us back in logic, and that would just send us right back here. So, do you think we'll see anything in the back 3 chests here, Lucian?
I think we'll probably see something just because we're just so starved for anything.
Yeah. Lamp is Zora, Mushroom is Waterfall Fairy. And there's also a Fiery Rod in Zora Ledge. Hey, there's the boots, and the bamboos. So boots get added to the fetch quest, I guess, because that's about what that is right now. jmeasher heading immediately for Bonkrox.
Be interesting to see if Bonkrox turns up something that's progression, it would still be out of logic, so I'm wondering if... hopefully you don't go chasing after the non-logical progression, but it's not anyway,
And
so...
straight on off to dig spot, I guess. So jmeasher might be checking the lumberjack here. For those who are tuning in a little late, we did not see the first about 7 or 8 minutes of these guys' race because we had some technical issues. We altered our sister race from on SpeedGaming 3 to get item location information. I don't actually know their exact early routes. jmeasher is missing his mirror from the race game. At this point, it has to be a glove at glove or flute, because flippers don't give them any new checks on dig spot. It gets them back in logic, but it doesn't do anything else.
And plus, breaking logic really hasn't turned up anything so far outside the boots and
Oh,
bombos.
it could be a book actually on dig spot. Get them to desert. And the answer is a glove. Not surprised.
Okay, so that now that puts gloves puts Zora in logic. So now Lamb's in logic. So that put Mount in logic.
Yep. jmeasher's gonna find that mirror now. Orange is sprinting straight for that glove.
Orange is getting harassed by that guard.
jmeasher checking the library and then going to do race game to say he can save quit straight out of it. And that was actually a point from chat that we hadn't discussed yet. Yeah, Orange stuck to logic and did not do the Zora area. It does not have mushroom, lamp, or a fire rod, so we'll be going for those later. Yeah, I think he knows that his logic is probably on Zora at this point, but does he chase that logic hard, or does he just go for the check density on the mountain? We'll have to see. Second reset? I think that was a miss menu, probably. Yeah. Does save to Link's house. I think this is water checks or no? Where is he going? Or no, this is water checks. I'm just scatterbraining. jmeasher saving the old man.
Ooh, we're getting some Ansela Splash Delete.
Very nice. We were discussing a possibility of them doing one, jmeasher doing one earlier with the red meringue and bombs, as we get the book off the old man. Speaking of fetch quests and assorted things that might get more chunks, that's desert access.
So I wonder if we might see that early Fire Rod get from Orange then, if they're bringing out Splash Delete.
I'd assume if he did the first one to get into the water, he can do the second one for Zora. Nice mitts on Spectacle Rock, lol.
Yep, so that's our Dark World access.
Yep. Yep, check. Fire, red pendant, red crystal Thieves, red pendant Meyer, green pendant TR. It's not for orange.
It's always good when you know, because TR is one of the more common dungeons to get through, so yeah, not knowing there's a chance why not to get through TR is always nice.
Yep. Nothing on Ether Tablet. Orange is now setting up for this Ansela fake flipper. Here's the big key in Hera. And jmeasher has decided to save put.
Yeah, I don't think he has anything to damage the enemies on the way up.
Oh yeah, bow only gets you so far. And Orange, unfortunately, not getting that Ansela fake flipper, unfortunately, so he'll have to be back later. For those who don't know, Ansela fake flipper. Words are really hard. Ansela fake flipper is well, ALTTP is a well-coded game. It can only handle so many sprites on screen at once, and the splash animation counts as a sprite. So if you get too many sprites on screen at once, it can't load the splash animation and just assumes Link has gone swimming. Also known as splash delete.
Game's like, I can't prove he's not swimming, so I guess he's swimming.
Pretty much. So yeah, you can see a variety of things. We were discussing red meringue and bombs. You can take the blue meringue. We see Solaria sometimes. Bow and bombs are the most common for this. There's the orange. Two different ways to do it. Primarily seen for the Zora ledge. Sometimes you also see what orange did to get into the water to begin with.
So I'm wondering what we'll see next.
Thieves makes sense here for jmeasher. It's the other red crystal and red crystal and white crystal to begin with, as you get the big key. Chat's continuing to spin up some terrible theories as to where stuff can be. Aga is most likely dead now that we have Dark World access, and that Lumberjack is just a heart piece, but there is always the possibility, yeah, I've seen it before, where Hammer is on the Pyramid Fairy. And that requires Aga, unless you know a very specific bomb dupe. Because if your Hammer is on Pyramid Fairy, you can't actually get from the bomb shop to the pyramid unless you use the portal that's created by defeating Aga, as you get burned in the front of Thieves.
Could we also see Aga for logical East Dark World access? Well, let me rephrase that, because I think these players are both good enough to get around that. But that's a possibility.
Yeah, I think these guys can both kern jump for that. I don't know if they know the bomb dupe if that came up. I mean, love to see. Hammer does eventually need to show up. It looks like Orange is sprinting on off to Desert here. Going to beat it. It has a fire source, has boots, knows that fire's a pendant, so might not need to come back here. I guess why not?
Yeah, you've got the bow, land, it's clearable. It's full clearable.
It is. I also got the third of 4 heart containers on the dig game. The game decided to give them a lot of hearts. They're already at 10 hearts apiece. I think no, that's 9 for Orange. I think 10 for jmeasher. Counting is hard.
Oh, that's 11 now.
Yeah, the seeds being generous on hearts, not so much on items, as we get a whole lot of nothing on the right side of Desert.
Yeah, 0 crystals, 11 hearts. It's a miracle.
It is a fantastically helpful thing, yes. jmeasher also bailed out of Thieves because of a lack of weaponry. Back's not so fun. I know hammer makes you not want to do the back without big. It's in case you orphan big chest. Desert is boots locked, so those boots were useful. That's our bottle on K45. There are 4 placed, but only 1, what's the word, obtainable. Yeah, 4 placed, 1 available, and that's the one that jmeasher is getting. Orange might find a different one.
Alright, jmeasher is showing us the cave formerly known as Hype.
Nowadays, it tends to be more Tripe Cave often, depending on what items we actually get out of it. Well, I take the sword, that's pretty good. Art pieces, some bombs, and some bombs, okay. I mean, 33 minutes in, I'll take the sword.
I guess based on value alone, it's probably a solid 8 out of 10, but in terms of like actual content, it's probably a 4.
Yeah. The sword, though, is pretty good. It's their first sword 33 minutes in, and solid weapon, which they haven't quite had. Bow only gets them so far. Burn doesn't do a ton. Purple chest, giving us loopy, landmost, trolling orange here a bit.
Very nice.
Nothing on Bambo's tablet, and jmeasher is heading on over now. jmeasher here doing some more efficient routing to Desert, routing in Smith Chain and South Dark World on the way there, so some nice routing to cleanup checks on the way. Also knowing that might not need to come back here, or at least not for a while, with Myra being a pendant. So I think Orange is now going to head for the village area. Our runner is switching places. So where do you think our next progression is going to be, Lucien?
Trying to think, because I got a pretty wide open world. Wondering if maybe we'll find those flippers soon for the fire rod to Skullwoods, maybe?
Possible. We would like to see a hammer fairly soon.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, we're not missing a gun. We don't need wire, we don't need TR, so the Red Cane and Ice Rod are not necessarily required. We don't need even the medallions because of that. We need a hammer and flippers for Swamp. We need a second sword for Ganon, and that might be about it right now for our Go Mode list, actually. At least hard required Go Mode.
Yeah, that's it feels like such a slow seed, but at the same time it's also...
Oh, hookshot, I forgot. Whoops!
Oh yeah.
Reminder. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was thinking, because like you would... Samara is not hard required, but you also, generally speaking, like to have a Cancel Mario on hand for Ice Palace, but these two racers, they're good enough. I'm sure they know the Ice Palace bomb jump.
Oh, I'm sure, but yeah, it feels good bad after such a slow start that we're not honestly missing much for go mode.
Yes, with the lack of swords. I remember one of the qualifiers. No, no, it was a recent daily race. The uncle item on standard mode was a sword, and it was go mode sword in Ganon's tower.
Oh, jeez. First and last items to find.
Yeah, you love to see it.
Yep.
If you're commentating, if you're racing, you don't want to see it.
No. There, I had not been counting items in Thieves, so I have no idea if we've seen the map and or compass or small key yet. Well, there's the compass. Something to keep in mind for whether or not that big chest has an item, because Orange currently can't get it without a hammer.
Yeah,
Does have a small key though.
That's always the big risk coming into Thieves Town this early.
Because if that big chest is an item, that could be a last location. We've seen it many, many times. And what's going down for jmeasher, that'll be his first crystal at the 38-minute mark, along with 12 hearts. And there's the hammer. Convenient.
That is beautiful.
Thanks, game.
That is a good gamble. Like you go into hammerless Thieves Town knowing you might be staring down the barrel, and there's no shot. Wow.
Paying out. So about that list of go mode items, it just got cut in half.
Yeah, so you go into the hammerless Thieves Town, you're staring down the barrel of possibly having to work in that big chest, and lo and behold, the game pays you.
Yep. Ticket here for jmeasher is not helping. Yeah, we're flippers and sword from go mode. We know that they technically are missing the fire rod, but they both know where it is. It's on Zora Ledge. jmeasher did not bother trying the Ansela fake flipper. Orange failed it, so they will both have to return later. Very quick blind fight with Berna there. That's the map. And another crystal.
And so now that's his second 5-6. He can do those Dark World checks route into Pyramid Fairy instead of how jmeasher did it.
That's true. Talking about how jmeasher was able to route in Smith Chain and Type Game and all that, but Orange gets to do slightly different efficient routing. Both work out pretty well, actually. I forgot about the red 5-6 layout, which is pretty nice.
Meanwhile, jmeasher is about to get a very pleasant surprise here in the next few minutes.
Yep. I would be surprised if Orange skipped hammer pegs. Gonna pass right by it, turning in the Smith. I'd expect jmeasher will probably also get hammer pegs since he's already in the area.
Yeah, also, DKMHC in chat also points out, more to the point of like, well, some of that Thieves Town play, you're also going in with no concrete way to damage blind.
Yeah, that's true. You've got Burna, but though half magic, it can get us dicey. Yeah, Burna being the only way of damaging blind at all, and a little finicky at times. Calculated risk gets worked out for everyone today with that hammer placement. Nothing on hammer pegs.
Well, while we have a little bit of a break here, be sure to follow both these racers. They are putting on one heck of a show for us tonight. Yes, also give a follow to my co-commentator Star1468 and myself if you feel so inclined, and our tracker Royale with Cheese.
Yep. So, and thanks to everyone in chat as well for watching here. These are only 2 of many racers in this qualifier tonight. There are a total of 99.
Do you know why they call it a Royale with Cheese?
You'd have to ask Royale. It is actually something of a running joke in the Zelda 2 randomizer community, where both Royale and I are pretty active as volunteers, that we regularly get the cheeses on tracking. Royale with cheese and another person called Cheeseburger Party.
That sounds like a fun team.
Yep, we do. We get both. We often get one cheese or the other on tracking, and at times we get both cheeses at the same time. It's good fun. Complete with plenty of jokes. Apparently, Royale with cheese is something to do with the metric system. Okay.
Yeah, good old reference to a really good movie, Pulp Fiction.
Gotcha. Did not watch that movie, so missed the reference.
We cannot probably quote a good chunk of that movie on comms without getting banned by SpeedGaming.
Yeah, let's not do that. Yes, I am actually too young for Pulp Fiction. I won't say what my exact age over here on SpeedGaming, though some of the ZTR community knows it more roughly what my present age, my actual age is, but I will say that I am substantially younger than the game of ALTTP. By several years.
I was but a wee lad when Pulp Fiction came out.
The sword is right there for orange. Question from chat. Nothing on Pyramid Ledge. Pyramid Fairy, Ether, and Bombs.
Nice blue potion pickup from the Pyramid Fairy.
Always appreciated.
I think this game and Pulp Fiction came out roughly around the same time, within a couple years of each other. So I would have been a toddler for both of them.
Googling now. Pulp Fiction came out in 1994.
Yeah, a couple years out, so that was technically right.
Back on topic for the actual race, it's time for pod.
Yep.
So big This will be crystal number 3 for jmeasher. Chat making various comments as to how old they are in comparison to various things. There's a couple different things I could say about how old I'm as old as, but I won't say which.
When I was born, Germany was still 2 countries.
I think that was implied when you said you were a toddler when this game came out. I will note that I did actually, I managed to make several people feel rather old in not recognizing the Windows 95 system interface a few weeks back because I am not old enough to remember Windows 95. As we get a map here for jmeasher, and orange is heading in as well. Pretty much just logical plays here, following progression, doing checks, finding a key as usual.
Oh yeah, nothing but keys in the... Not nothing but keys, but generally speaking, the keys are pretty front-loaded in pod.
Yep. Key logic does, as always, assume you're a bit of a goof and use up your keys in the worst order possible, so it does require that there are a minimum of 4 keys in the front of pod, because otherwise you could get yourself locked out in permanently out of places, which is not good.
Yeah, generally speaking, you want to complete the seed.
Yes. This goes for any randomizer. It has to assume that you use your items in the worst way possible. So ALTTP is usually fine for this. So, but like in other games, I know, especially OTR, where I have studied logic a fair bit. Like for example, it always ensures that you have consumables. Like you have a refillable source of bombs, you have a refillable source of nuts and arrows and all that. You can't use your keys in the worst way possible. You can lose your shield in the OTR and tunics as well, so those are relevant. Shields have been considered for logic. Tunics have been changed from the vanilla game code to make sure that they aren't a problem with being stolen, and so on and so forth. ALTTPR is a very old random. It has been around for, what, 5 or 6 years now? OTR for slightly less, so both have pretty well fleshed out logic by now.
I want to say 2015, 2016 is roughly when this game got started.
Yeah, probably something like that as I get the big key and harmless Hully for jmeasher. I mean, we still do get some bugs. Like with newer experimental settings, you might still get some bugs, but for the settings that have been around since forever, like just, you know, the base randomizer in the case of just regular non-key sanity key logic, it's pretty well fleshed out to make sure you can't lock yourself out permanently of things.
Yeah, ALTTPR is a pretty solidly put together program.
Pretty much any of the randomizers that have been around for a while. OTR is quite well coded as well. Majora's Mask randomizer's gotten a pretty solid amount of debugging by now. That's been around for a couple of years now. Z1R as well. Z2R's got... Well, it had a major update a year and a half ago that broke several things, but still amazingly holds up pretty well considering how much that randomizer breaks its original game.
I played the Oracle games randomized recently. I didn't notice anything wrong with those.
I mean, I think most Zelda I think almost every single main series Zelda game has a randomizer by now. Let's see, the exceptions are Breath of the Wild and the Four Swords games. Those 3 can't really be randomized, I don't think, because of the way they are, really. And then I don't think Spirit Tracks is a randomizer yet, though I know Phantom Hourglass rando is in the works. Apparently there's some very strong anti-piracy protection on the DS or something, which is why those 2 games are taking some of the longest to get randomized out of the series. Link Between Worlds randomizer is pretty new. Twilight Princess Rando is on the newer side, and Skyward Sword has been out for Rando has been out for about a year and a half now. Oh, okay. I know Breath of the Wild Randomizer exists in that there's like a web app that like randomizes what order you do things in, more or less. But like an in-game randomizer, the way we would think for something like ALTTPR here, doesn't really exist in Breath of the Wild because it doesn't quite work the same with how that game goes. And okay, yes, the CDI game. That's why I say main series in Zelda games. This does not include the CDI games, Hyrule Warriors, either game, or Hyde games, if I rule. Also, I don't think Triforce Heroes has a randomizer either.
I consider CDI Link canon.
I did say it was non-canon, just not main series.
Alright, so not much of note in Pod. We get about catching that. Besides that, not a whole lot to speak of.
Nope, it's why we went off on tangents about everything but Pod.
But that is crystal number 3 for jmeasher. Orange will be following up in just a moment.
Yep. And we'll see where jmeasher's off to next.
So we can do the front of Skullwoods. Looks like we're going over the right side of the mountain, so yeah, that makes sense.
Makes sense. Between Light and Dark World, we've got 7 checks in Paradox, Spiral Cave, we have all of Hookshot Cave, Super Bunny Cave, we can do Floating Island, we can check the medallion for TR if nothing else. There's a few different things to do up there. They can do Spike Cave as well. Pretty much a mountain full clear at this point.
Probably clean up that Moldorm fight while they're up here too.
Yeah, that as well. We saw the first 2 checks and then that was all because they didn't have a weapon to get further than that. Oh, there's the Samaria.
Yeah, that's always nice to have, especially when you make it to Ice Palace.
Yeah, that does also give them a different thing to consider, Lucian.
Oh boy,
TR
yeah.
exists. I'm not sure they wanted to see Samaria when they're debating whether or not when they're looking at the possibility of doing green pendant TR with no ice rod or fire rod. Actually, there's the flippers.
You know what? You know what? Well, no, that puts the. Because I was gonna say, until we saw the slippers, you could honestly justify making that first check in TR on the left-hand side. Things the compass room.
Mm-hmm.
But not the fire rods and logic. That complicates that.
Yeah. jmeasher's not even going to bother opening the portal. I might have if you're right there, but it is Bombo, so they can get in the door. But it's just going to head straight for Hookshot Cave here. Now the powder. Keep. And root.
Yeah, so these two are like right on top of each other, pretty much. Maybe 30 seconds to a minute apart.
Something like that, yeah. jmeasher is going to do Hera here. I was half expecting him to do Super Bunny, but that does mean having to reclimb, so just gonna head over here. Nice Hera pot. Orange is going to do Super Bunny. We'll see what these two checks are. We are in sword mode, to be specific, as we get the bloomerang from the big chest of Harrow. We do need a second sword to kill Ganon, though there's a pretty good chance they'll find one somewhere on their way.
Yeah, or like I was talking about that one scene earlier. You could see no swords up until GT.
Well, in GT on the way to the big key would still be on the way. We'll have to see. Very nice Moldor. Any idea if there's an item in the basement? Though in this case it doesn't really matter. We are gonna get out of here and head out to the other dungeons now. Got Swamp, Skull Woods, and Ice left.
It's like Jay's gonna pick up that fire rod.
I mean, you kind of need to do the get the fire rod before you get either. If you do before you do Skull Woods and probably before you do Ice, and then you can just chain Ice and Swamp together, more or less. I have to do so at some point, at least.
Yeah, definitely sooner than later.
Chat discussing all manner of terrible scenarios for swords. We'll have to see. As at these guys' skill level, Master Sword Silverless Ganon is fine. They will not have particular issues with it, especially because this seed's been stupidly generous with hearts. Storm just got 14 and jmeasher 13. And they do each also have a bottle for extra safety.
Ooh, jmeasher's getting abused by that pea hat right there. I've taken a few deaths to those pea hats over the past year or so.
Yeah, they can troll.
Okay, jmeasher's going through swamp. Well, I imagine they're just gonna go mode it.
No reason not to. I think, well, you might open like the Diver Down chest and maybe the Waterfall chest because they're right in your face. But like, for example, that chest there is gonna skip because it's too far of a detour. There are 3 more swords in the full There are 3 more swords that are placed, though once you find 3, the 4th will be replaced by nothing. Or be removed, so we'll have to. So even if you skip one here, there's going to be more others elsewhere.
Exactly, like you said, these players are good enough. They're not. I doubt they're gonna be bothered by sword placement. Well, it's like a little bit of a divergence here. Orange is opting to go for Ice Palace, while jmeasher does Swamp.
Yep.
I think that was our last heart container, too, that jmeasher just found.
Yep. City Relic, flippers were, where were flippers? Floating Island!
Although Argus is definitely one of those bosses, having a Master Sword definitely helps.
Yeah, because with Fighter Sword, you're doing spin strats!
Alright, that is crystal number 5 for jmeasher.
Yep. Yeah, I've got no idea how many items are on left side swamp. We skipped several checks. We skipped the first check, compass, big chest, of course. So who knows what's in the left side swamp.
It's a secret to everyone.
Yeah. Doesn't look like Orange has found much of anything here in ice, just plugging through and getting heading for what will be his 5th crystal.
Yep, you'll probably burn right through Swamp Palace too, I assume.
I would assume so, yeah. And there we go.
Yeah, I like using the hammer. Usually you see people just kind of spam Fire Rod before switching to melee, but I like it.
Hey, that works. Pretty good fight. Save quit to Link's house. This will be Swamp for Orange, and then they'll be off to Skull Woods and be done. Off to GT.
And the only thing standing in their way right now is that sword.
Yep. Odd Odds are they'll find one in GT, but if not, then things have gone a little spicy.
Yeah, if I was a gambling man, what I would do if you clear Skull Woods, you still don't have that Master Sword, I would still beeline Ganon's Tower and just kind of bet on, because you got 26 checks if you do 27 with the big chest.
Yeah, there's quite a lot. Because we usually talk about 22 checks on for the big key, but there's actually more, considering that you have the big chest and the ones in the climb. I'll start going down for jmeasher. That I'm using his blue potion, but that is his 6th crystal here.
Looks like Orange is choosing to be at least a little bit more thorough with Swamp Palace.
Yep. Did choose to open that first chest there. Did not get a sword for his troubles, though. Every single runner in the qualifier race is the same seed. This goes for any race. It would not make any sense otherwise to have two people running different seeds, because even like in this mode, like this is one of the this has actually been a relatively faster one, despite the slow start. It's actually not been too bad. I feel like we could probably see it finish in the 115-120 mark if the sword's on the way. But yeah, seeds like this can go anywhere from like an hour and 10 minutes, I think, or so, to closer to like an hour 40, even for top runners. Like a ped aga seed would take, giving one runner this and the other runner other runners an aga ped seed would not be a fair race, because it's just going to take very different amounts of time due to randomizer being, well, random.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be fair. Even more to how even things are, stuff like blue balls from Aghanim or Ganon warps are also universal for all players.
Mm-hmm. jmeasher is choosing to go for the Skullwoods Bridge chest here, despite not going for some of the other similarly long checks in Swamp. Perhaps Sling's starting to feel the pressure a bit of finding a sword now, after having cleared Swamp and Ice without.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to jmeasher's route through Ice Palace. Did he pretty much just go mode it, or did he stop running items?
I think he more or less go-moded it. Wasn't paying most attention either, admittedly, but I don't think he did. I think he did not go out of his way for any checks, at least. All 3 items were on the path, thanks, chat. Yep, there is a second restream of this race going on over at SpeedGaming 3, which are 2 other runners in this race room, who are being restreamed separately, so we can give more people a chance to be featured on restream for Qualifier, since we only do 2 runners per restream. Please don't spoil what's going on over there, since that is distinct, as our runners collect their 6th and 7th crystals at the same time. Lucian, do you want to discuss a little game you like to play?
Yes, we are on our way to a magical land known as Ganon's Tower Basement. In there are 22 chests. One of them has the big key. We like to guess in the chat and in comms which of those 22 chests is going to have that big key. So get your guesses in the chat, 1 through 22, for where do you think that Ganon's Tower big key will end up.
My vote is for 21.
Listen, I'm a fan of chaos when I'm commentating, so I vote 22.
Nice. That is true. There is also the number of chests you need to open to get the Master Sword. We will find out. For jmeasher, that count would technically start here with Super Bunny Cave. Didn't skip this earlier. It's gonna do this now on the way to GT since there are two pretty quick checks in here. See if there's a sword in here, which we know there isn't because Orange did this earlier. Just a pair of heart pieces, bringing jmeasher up to 15.
Alright, here we go. That's not a strategy you see very often in Skullwoods.
Yeah, using Ether there to kill all of the enemies real fast. Checks 1 and 2 were neither a sword nor the big key, but did have the small key, so jmeasher is heading right.
I'm gonna remember that move in the future. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got Ether and you want to get rid of them fast, then you have the magic for it, I guess, why not? This is 3, 4,
Silvers.
5, and 6. Dice silvers is nice. It'll make again a little easier, but that doesn't get you past the first few phases. You still do need a compass to do that. Not compass, brain. They still need the Master Sword. Wow, my brain's not working. That is check number 7.
Maybe if they ask Ganon nicely to hurt himself.
Eight, 9, 10, and 11 are all not it.
Alright, we're halfway there to 22. Or almost.
Yes, we are.
Someday I'll be right.
Someday, because it's not number 12. Yeah, jmeasher got into GT to Pal, I think the 113.05 or so. We'll see when Orange gets in. Looks to be about a 3-minute difference. Slightly less. Or maybe slightly more, I can't math. This here is check number 13. Which is not it.
Alright, time to check that randomizer room.
It's so named because you really don't ever check this room in vanilla. It's a load of refills, I believe. But it is 4 checks in random.
I didn't even know this room existed until Rando.
You're definitely not alone. There it is. 14 is the big key. 15, 16, and 17 don't have swords. And jmeasher is mirroring out.
That's bold. Opting to ignore those 3 checks behind Armos.
Hoping to get a faster one on the way in the tower here. Yeah, Orange just over 3 minutes behind jmeasher getting into GT here. jmeasher is taking a calculated risk here and deciding to go for it, hoping that one of these handful of checks in the climb will be a second sword. If not, this could get interesting. We'll see if how Orange chooses to bail immediately after Rando Room, or if he continues, because he is going right first, same route as jmeasher.
Speaking for myself, I like you think Armos. You got the silver arrows. Armos is a pretty quick fight in that scenario.
They are. And it is 3 relatively quick checks with silvers.
Yeah, and that leaps right into the big chest, which is check 23, or, well, 22.
22 in that case because they haven't done Tile Room. Tile Room is not worth it here.
Yeah, unless you're, like, absolutely desperate.
Yeah, which they aren't quite at that point.
Oh, I just thought of a good joke. It's for a picture. I'll have to remember that for later.
Speaking of Armos, here's some nice physics in these rooms. Sure, getting a little trolled. There we go. These physics are fun. Very nice one cycle on Landmouse. We saw both Bombos and Ether tablets. They were both couch cash.
Alright, let's see what Orange does after this room.
Does choose to continue as we find what would have been half magic. And the Ice Rod! Thanks, game! For jmeasher, those being checks number 18 and 19. Trinex does exist, but never mind. Well, there we are. That is the go mode officially now for jmeasher. That is a sword on the climb.
Vindication.
Ooh, Voldorm deciding to get in on the fun though, dropping jmeasher straight into the pit. And yeah, that Campbell paying out for jmeasher. Keep a sword on the way, and it just heading well, back on up, and we'll be out again soon.
Yeah, this seed has really rewarded some hot gambles. Going into Thieves Town without hammer or weapon to fight blind. Going up GT with only a fighter sword.
Yeah. And Ice Armor is giving a whole lot of nothing for Orange. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if those other people found other swords, because these guys did skip several checks. Orange, are you really doing Tile Room? I guess we're seeing a Tile Room, everyone. This I am surprised by. Going up to Ice Armor makes sense. A Tile Room is a pretty slow check for one thing when there's 3 possible ways to hit your gun with. But I guess if you're here, might as well do it.
Alright, and it is time to fight the pig.
2211, pretty decent for jmeasher. And $300 for Orange in Tile Room.
Oh, and a beautiful Final Fantasy VI reference from Ganon. Quote from my personal favorite villain of the series. Did jmeasher refill his bottle?
I don't believe so.
This is, gotta be careful.
Yeah, he does. He does have silvers at least, but still needs to watch himself a little bit. It's only on 4 hearts now using the cape.
Ooh, nice thread in the needle there.
And as soon as you say that, he takes a hit.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Yeah, I'm curious.
It takes, what, half an hour to find our first sword, and then...
Hour 20 to find the second. Alright, that's arrow number 1 for jmeasher. Let's get the torch glitch. Arrow number 2. And that is a nice double to finish out the seed. We'll be finishing up first on Restream, and we'll see how he places in the qualifier overall. As the orange takes on these Landmass. And GG's to jmeasher, finishing up, let's see, 9th in the race room, first on Restream with an official race time, that GG time of 1:24.04. GG's also to Ganon's Gone Wild, Trinex, Ninban, Skele, Pretty Long, Obscure Lifeform, Darkened Sky, and Homemade Beer, finishing first through Wraith.
Yes, GG to jmeasher. What really good show.
Very good show indeed.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that bottle too is like, that's only what 30 seconds to go find that get that bottle refilled at the Pyramid Carry.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
definitely shows his confidence in that battle.
for sure. This looks like it was jmeasher's 5th qualifier, by the way, if I'm reading this race time history correctly.
Alright, orange probably breathes a sigh of relief, getting that sword at the top of the tower. It's hard to say. I have not seen anyone else's stream, so I can't say who found Tempered or not.
Yeah.
And we're joined in chat by jmeasher. GG.
GG's. You are unmuted, but we can't hear a thing.
There we go.
There we go. GG's.
Yeah, thanks.
So, bit of a slow start to this one.
Yeah, that was quite a change to start us off, that Dark World access. And it's really interesting because there's so many different ways you could have gone about it, I feel like. But I apparently went the maybe not the most logical way, I was about to say, but I was really a little upset seeing that fire right there and being just barely not able to splash delete and get it. Didn't quite have the necessary items.
Your opponent on Restream Orange also ended up failing that splash delete and had to come back.
Yeah, I guess the good thing is it's fire rod, so it's not needed for all that much. It's nice to have, and at least the knowledge was good. Was good. It helped me out later on.
It helped you got the lamp right there anyway, so
Yeah.
that was
sure.
nice. So you were lacking a fire source for that at the time, and you didn't really need that fire rod till you were in sword mode, really.
Yeah, and knowing that it's flipper locked means, by the time I got around to doing pod, I think I already knew the last two items I needed, just because of the dungeon layout with the TR and Meyer being pendants. So it was really interesting to see. There's real potential for gain a lot of ground on people if you did the bold thing of going all the way through Thieves Town at the very beginning, but really hard to make that decision.
Yeah, because you guys had no weaponry at all for the place going in. Burna was in the front, and then nice hammer in the back, leading straight to your hookshot.
I was
really tempted.
Yeah, I was really tempted to go back there with Burna. I really don't like doing that fight with just Burna. It's really rough. It's doable, but you have to be really, really precise with your magic usage. So it didn't feel like a worthwhile gamble, and it turns out it would have been this seed just because of the hammer.
Well, I mean, doing that as a first resort would have been like an absolute galaxy brain move to stare down Thieves Town with no means to fight blind, or possibly orphaning that big chest, and just the ultimate payoff.
Yeah, GG's here to Orange, finishing up second on Restream, 19th in the race with an official racetime.gg time of 1:29.18. GG's also to Late-Bit, Phasmacap, Magnohedo, Riendium, Hexadus, Matt7898, Zugadisan, Killer App, and Fry, finishing in 10th through 18th. GG's Orange joining us in the chat.
GG Orange.
Yeah, GG's.
Bit of a slow start on this one, wasn't it?
Just a bit.
Seed was very stingy with the Sphere 1.
You guys both last locationed at front of escape shovels.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, Orange, but I'm a filthy Uncle Router, so I definitely would have gone down there if I had gotten anything to do it with, but that's kind of the risk you take with that route. You tend to last locate anything that might be down there.
Yeah, but if I was an Uncle Router, I would have gone to Zora a lot sooner.
That's true, with all that money. It's a really interesting early game. There's so many different ways you could have done it.
Hey, as a fellow Uncle Router, I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you got the mirror early, but I skipped that just due to having to buy bombs, which kind of messed with my routing through Kakariko. So I didn't have that mirror. You could have gotten that mirror and probably, I mean, you would have had to do Uncle first for the shovel to the glove to get up the mountain, but it's so weird. I really wasn't sure how to feel by the time I got my Dark World access.
I was basically feeling, oh, okay. Because I knew I just last located that shovel, and I was like, okay, well, something's going to be on the dig spot. It's probably going to be a glove or lamp or something, because I just pulled boots out of back of escape.
Yeah.
Ended up being glove. I was like, okay, that puts the boots in logic. Check that. It's nothing. It was like, oh no, it's Zora.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you. I got hard baited into full clearing Pendant Eastern Palace for absolutely nothing.
You guys
I pulled that bow. I pulled that bow and I was like, okay, screw it, we're killing the Ormos Knights.
I was like, this is the biggest bait of all time, but I mean, at that point, what did I have left? I had basically front of escape. So, but I think for me, this being my last qualifier, I didn't have much. I didn't have much room to either lose or gain points, just based on what my other scores were. So I figured, why the hell not? It's given me everything I need to fully clear Eastern and Logic. Might as well go for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it made sense at the time, especially because you guys were running fairly hard out of checks. Just didn't pay out.
Yeah, I was definitely getting a bit nervous and shaky at times because, again, where was all the stuff? And then I just last located, well, everything. At least early game. Then Dark World popped up, whole hammer and mirror hook shot. Like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah, the seed really took off once you got to the Dark World. You actually just went straight through Thieves' first trip orange. jmeasher did the front, decided to come back later, did not feel like doing blind with just Burno. Blame him.
I've done it before. I've had a inverted seed that logically required a no half magic, no bottle, burnout only blind kill.
Ouch.
That is a mouthful.
Yeah, I mean, and beyond the fact that that fight just sucks. You know, I may be expecting one item to be back there, and certainly not expecting it to be hammer blocking the hook shot both in the back of Thieves down. That was quite the discovery. But yeah.
And I was saying, like, maybe 30 seconds before you found that hammer, about the gutsiness of making the call to do a hammerless Thieves Town. And then, lo and behold, there's the hammer.
Well, and the other thing about that is getting that small key up front. It's a possibility now. If the small key is up front, it means the hammer could be back there. So it is something to think about, but it's so rare. Like, it's just, God bless anybody who decided to do it. That's a gutsy call.
Some people will actually see that small key up front and think of it as a deterrent to just kind of go back later when you have to hammer. But that's not what you had to do this seed.
Yeah, I can imagine. I would probably back off too. I would check those front four, get that small key, and then like, But speaking of gutsy calls, jmeasher, you in Ganon's Tower, opting not to go for those final four checks behind Armos and the big chest, instead just going beelining straight up the tower, really paid off for you.
Yeah, and again, like I said, didn't have a lot to lose one way or another. So I'm trying to remember if I saw, because I mean this is kind of one aspect of being in these big races and having, if you do have the race room open, you can see the finishers. I'm pretty sure I saw our first place finisher here. Ganon's Gone Wild. Congrats to him. Saw him finish, and that kind of puts you in your mind, okay, either I missed a sword somewhere really simple that was easy to get to, or there's one upstairs. And it at that point there's like 4 extra checks. I'm not counting tile room. personally. There's four extra checks I could do down there, but the time, like, I don't know. It felt like I checked pretty much everything else. Making the climb made a lot of sense at that point. Even if there had been a finisher, I probably still would have done that because, like I said, I was making some gambles where I could. But yeah, I was really getting nervous because I wasn't. I was kind of looking at my map tracker and like, where do I even go from here to look for another sword? There's no good options. Like, do I want to climb back up and do Turtle Rock? That seems bad. But got lucky. Sword was right there on the way, so didn't have to worry about it.
And that was pretty nice because you guys skipped a bunch of checks. You skipped a decent bit of Eastern. jmeasher Orange was a little more thorough. Never touched TR. Skipped some other sorted overworld checks. We never saw North Dark World, for instance. So various other things. Let's see. None of your pendant dungeons were required today at all.
These big qualifier races, it's better to play a little bit safer and be a little more thorough because the last thing you want is to tank your score because you skip something everyone else is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is weird, right? Because, I mean, like in these big races, if you want to win, generally speaking, you're gonna have to make some pretty wild calls. Go look at my third qualifier race, for instance. But in a qualifier, but especially with the way they do the scoring here, and the fact that top 128 get in, as long as you're reasonably confident in your execution, yeah, you're right. You want to try and play it relatively safely and make sure that you're not getting a huge time loss, because that can be really bad, especially in a seed like this where you got some really fast finish times. So it's a weird balance, and it just kind of depends on your situation with your scores, how you want to play a seed, or just the way the seed's going in general. But yeah, I'm personally glad to be done with the qualifiers. These big races are fun to do every once in a while, but they can be a little stressful.
In my case, I decided to quit while I'm ahead with the gambles after that Miracle Thieves Town hammer and hookshot.
Fair.
I mean, the gambles I was making for the rest of the city were more reasonable ones, like not doing left side swamp, for example, not doing a Hera basement, skipping Spiral Cave, and just calling sword mode.
Yeah, those made sense.
I still got one qualifier to go. I mean, I could technically take the 0 on my 5th one, but I mean, I've really got nothing to lose doing a 5th one. I could try and see if I could erase this one because this one didn't go as well as my other qualifiers.
That might be about it for us, though. I do not happen to have any idea of the official or unofficial standings at the moment offhand. How do you guys feel about your placements and going forward?
Personally, feel pretty great. This is definitely gonna be the highest I've ever finished in one of these qualifiers. Like I said, typically I'm playing a lot more conservatively just to make sure my times aren't really bloated. I had a very fortunate run a few days ago, and my other runs have been pretty solid. So I'm feeling confident about ending up top quartile. There's still a long way to go. I mean, how many more? There's like 7 more after this.
We're on 9 out of something like 7, yeah. You're actually on the official unofficial P-Train's unofficial estimator. Your
Yeah.
5th, you're an orange 7th. Just pulled it up.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really, really hard to be any higher than that. Like you have to get really lucky and also be incredibly good with your execution. So can't complain at all.
Yeah, we're only halfway through qual. There's 9 more.
I mean, I'm happily mathematically I'm in, but I would really like to secure a top quartet spot.
All I can say is I am on the list.
I don't play competitively, so there's that. But yeah, you guys look like to be in pretty good spots. So we wish you luck in your last qualifier, and to you both, I suppose, in the tournament.
Yeah, thank you. I'll just say thank you guys for the restream, and thank you to the trackers, everybody throwing this together, and yeah, good luck, Lucy and Orange, on the rest of your qualifiers.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Yeah, good luck to you too, Lucian.
Yep, I'll be in on tomorrow's 10 a.m. Qualifier.
And speaking of, it's time to wrap, I think. We've got, yeah, as mentioned, next qualifier is tomorrow, 10 a.m. We'll have one restream somewhere on SG, not channel yet to be assigned, and a second one at twitch.tv/ALTTP Randomizer. We also have another one this Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And thanks for watching, all. Let's make sure to give our runners here a follow, Orange and jmeasher, to my co-commentator Lucian, and to our tracker Rail with Cheese. And I'll let you guys have the last word. Thanks, all.
Yep. On top of the racers, make sure to follow SpeedGaming, the whole SpeedGaming network, SpeedGaming 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We have channels for Portuguese, German, Spanish, and French as well if you're over in Europe for daily SpeedGaming content. My name is Lucian Greed. Have a good night, everyone.